time of year when you actually like pick your ear and then you actually check if there's something on it. Like it's like, you know, like the build up.
I'm gonna just check my YouTube page to make sure we're live over there. Otherwise, we're live. It was fucking hilarious. All I seen, sis, was you saying about picking your ear. That was the piece I could see. We're
Oh
on.
yeah, because it's like
Yeah, go.
cool. Awesome. Because it's like 28 degrees up here still at 7:30 at night. It's hot as, and you know, like when you're like, it's, you know, like you need to wash a little bit more when it's hot, and you bend your ears and you actually look at it and go, oh, what is that? Okay.
I'm gonna record this. I've got the audio. But yes, I just feel like the hardest part, well, you know, because we can jam quite naturally when we're just in our space and that's how we want it to be. But I'm probably talking to myself here when I say that I'm conscious, like as a 2-4, when there's like other eyes that are on me, then I kind of, you know, tailor my ahua to like suit the fact that someone's watching. So I just really want to be mindful of that and not do that, because that's not the point. Yeah, but we're on YouTube. I checked it, and yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I got shit all around me. I'm trying to get some space going. But I thought we could just start off with, like, you know, because we're talking about a theme. Can you hear my earrings?
No, I can't even see them. Can I see them, please? Oh, beautiful. They look like the female form, eh? Did you do that intentionally?
The female vulva?
Yeah.
No, these ones are leaves, but I have done other ones that are actually like a vulva. And then
Right.
the boys are like, oh, those are cool. And I was like, yeah, it's a vulva. And they're like, right. Mother's brother's like, okay, is that? And I'm like, yep. And I'm like, there was like 9, just the way I'd done the design, there was like 9 like lines inside. And I was like, it's the, you know, the 9 months of, you know, being in the womb, you know.
Oh,
It just worked out that way. And they were like, okay. Mother's like, yep, that's your sister-in-law.
I was in a crystal shop today, and they actually had them in crystal form. And actually, like, you know, growing up, you don't get exposed to that, or like that's that corner of some sort of you know, video shop or something, and it's not done in a like respectful, beautiful way. But actually, they were in crystal form, and I was like, man, those are like really beautiful. And I wonder if to have like a vulva in that form and having it around your house or near your, I don't know, like your, wherever you get ready for the day, or in your bedroom is something that would, like, you know, help juice up that energy. But I was like, I can see how this would work.
That could work, yeah. Well, the vulva earrings definitely just like brought some normalcy to yeah, just creation and what it is. So I could see that. Yeah. Like, welcome to my house. Would you like, yeah. Welcome to my house. Yes, that's what we stand for. But yes, as I thought, I guess I can, because it's the first one like that we're like doing here on the Unearth Your Worth YouTube page. I was saying on my stories that we want these conversations to be as real as possible, because I feel almost like when we jam, like you and I, or me and the other sisters, are just, you know, I seem to have these like really profound, like fucking juicy ass conversations with you guys, but I never hear that kind of quoted or anywhere else. And every time we talk, whether it be me and you or like me and someone else, and I'm sure you have the same experiences with like people that you jam with, I don't know, but for me, I'm like, Chad, I wish that we could like share this share this and normalize this kind of kōrero, because there's no real intention other than just doing what we do and just jam. And if someone wants to take the time to sit there and listen to it, then I'm sure they'll get some wisdom out of it, or some validation or normalization from what we're having a yarn about. Yeah. And so we're going to try be as like us as possible, because like when we're just us, that's where it's at. Like, that's the gold. And I'm sure, yeah, there will be gold. Anything to add?
Yeah, it's I feel the same way, and it's hard to just jam by yourself out on your page. Like, I find that the energy is quite different because you only got yourself to like loop back to. I look at speakers like you to conversation with another person, and we've got that like listening ear, and we're flowing in and out together and listening. It's really, really beautiful. Now, and it's going to be natural, but my kids won't be interrupting us every 2 minutes like usual, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, for us that's natural way, but it's cool for like the first kind of jam, like just to get in this space and build and normalize this, even because this isn't normal. I feel like the conversations that we have, together without sharing them out, it's not normal, because there's that element of safety. So together we're also like finding that safety within ourselves, knowing that this is going out. And I think those will get normal over time. But I thought we could start off with, when I messaged you, I said, let's start off with like giving ourselves a current to row down, by sharing like a win, a sin, and a grin. Remember that thing we used to do? Yeah, and something we're winning at, even if it's just one, sis, like, because I feel like we could just get the current going. Like, if we just think about what's a win, what's a sin, or what's something that made me grin, one of the three will pop out. For me, it's definitely a sin. Like, this fucking week has felt sinful as. And I don't feel like I've been winning much. Oh, there's a bit of, but just whatever comes to you, like, doesn't have to be like ticking the box in all three. But I thought we could start there, and then we'll kind of get a roll on from there.
Yeah, main. And you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I had so I had a really cool win today, and I got a phone call that I have a little property in Invercargill, really like little shitbox. Oh, not a shitbox of a place, like it's a real small place, but I've been trying to sell it for the last 13 months to fund the next thing I'd like to do, the next thing I'd like to contribution I'd like to put out to the world, or thing I'd like to do, which I've spoken to you. I think it's the 4th or the 5th contract on it, and they rang today to saying like it's pretty much done. They'll settle next week, and that's just that feels like a big win, because it's just a finalization of things. When things just drag out and you can feel like it's just out of your control, and you're at the mercy of others, or the mercy of those that you've employed to sell your home, or even just like 13 months of inconveniencing my tenant, like that was really weighing me down. So to know that that's all going to be finalized next week, and it's all come together like much sooner, because it wasn't going to happen for another 3 or 4 months because of the laws in New Zealand. It was just felt really, really good. And it's funny because even though like you will make a bit of hutia out of it, or money out of it, it's like and I think about how that will go towards the next thing I'm doing. It's funny how we can think that like we won't do the next thing until we have the money, or until like I won't until, and it's like it couldn't be further from the truth, because I had a similar situation, and actually I didn't feel any more empowered by having the money behind me. It's just actually a story that if I had this, I could. And it's like, it's really not the case at all. If you've really, for me, it's like, if I've really got something I want to do, I will find a way to do it, even in just the smallest way possible. Like the vision might seem like it's out there, but it's like, what is the purpose behind it? And if it's actually at the basic purpose is like connection to like kotahitanga, whatever it is. It's like actually you can do that in a much smaller way. So I think it's a win. It feels really good that that process will be finalized next week. I have the putia next week, which is beautiful. And yet it's like, that's a story that I needed to wait for the putia to take the next steps for the things I want to do. Like there's always a way I could have met that, like been on purpose today with it without any putia to do any of like the grander stuff. So that felt really, really good today.
Shots us. For me, I'm like, when you're telling that story and does that share, and even when you're sharing it the other day, I'm like, wait, you have property, you know, like damn you bad, like you know, just like yeah, like that's really inspiring for me, because I'm like, I know that you like you just have all these things in the works, and yeah, like for me, I'll go into my wins and sins, but that's just really inspirational to be like, yeah, I got this property, trying to, you know, like, you know, sell it. I'm like, bro, I'm still struggling to fucking save for a deposit for like one house, you know. I'm trying to like, yeah. So and so that's inspiration for me, just like normalizing these conversations, because yeah, just like, yep, that's what I do, you know, I have property here, I own my house, da da da. Like I'm like, yes, cool. That's definitely goal. So that's a win.
Can I pull a little bit more on that?
Yeah.
I'm really uninspired about owning property. I'm really uninspired about owning anything. This has been a real valuable tool, and it's a privilege to be in a position to provide housing to a whānau until they can do whatever they choose. But ownership is very uninspiring to me, and I'm like, I got goosebumps as I talk about it, because that's just my truth of truths. I would have like probably, because I'm a financial planner, because it made sense, but like here it doesn't make sense to own. It just doesn't. Who am I to own the resources of this whenua? Like I am not. Who are any of us to own? And yet we play the game. We can play the game to get to another kaupapa. We can use it, the tool, like, and there's no shame. There's like no shame, and I put no shame on anyone trying to like grind out to have investment properties and portfolios, and I totally get it, and no shame. And yet those sort of status things are very, very uninspiring. Yeah, so like it was, I love that privilege, and I will use it to look at providing more housing to a lot more people in a lot simpler way. We've been talking about simplicity, but it's just the stepping stone for them, for their own, what they want, you know, and what feels good for them. But overall, like, I couldn't have gotten to this point probably without having gone through the things and done the things. And but yeah, I definitely feel really different about ownership of really anything, you know.
That's why we're friends, because same. And like I almost have to like hype myself up to be, you know, because it's like the thing that you want to do. And like Maru wants to, you know, he wants to like own property just for a purpose though, like to be resourceful. And then but we also talk about like how we don't really own, like owning material to us is not like a value in this lifetime. But for him, like right now, I trust it's okay I talk about this, but like it's like for him there's a goal in mind and to get to a next step, and that's where it comes from. But for me, I really struggle to even be like, why do we need that, you know? So I'm like a fucking fairy, like just blowing in the wind, and I'll be quite happy, you know, if I could live that life, you know, just to have the resources for the moment. Yeah, so I totally, like, that's why I struggle a bit to, like, you know, knuckle down and do the thing,
because you don't feel it in here. You don't feel like that.
I can
needing
honestly go
to
through life
have,
and not have a
that
property.
is mine. Yeah.
The only reason that I would do it is for, well, one, because it matters to my partner, but for that purpose. But and it would be like it would be like for a reason, for a purpose, and then move on. But to me, it doesn't matter. Like, I could quite easily like also not. But yeah, that was a good little reminder of just like, remember what's good for me. Even on that note, like with same thing with like marriage, we have very different views around marriage. So Maru and I at the first was like, I want to get married just because I want to have a party, in the islands, and like invite all my mates and all of that. But he's like, nah. And yeah, like marriage for us is like, why do we need to own each other? Why do we need to belong to each other? Yeah, like that's not how we roll. And I guess everyone's different. I mean, everyone has their reasons, but yeah, it comes back to that ownership. Like when you really like boil it down, there's so much shit that we get sucked into just because, everyone else is doing it and society is like endorsing those things. Yeah, and it's tricky to traverse, hey? It's tricky to traverse what is for you, and then what all the other stuff.
I reckon, like, I really know that everyone has a right to feel safe and secure, and that how that will play out will look different. So I was the same when I bought my first home. That was what mattered to my partner, and I'm like, well, if it matters to you, then yeah, that's cool. And so we did that. But safety and security can look different for different people, and just they're not wrong, and you're not wrong, and you'll meet somewhere. And I feel I'm married. I've been married 2 times. and now 37, I do feel the same way, because actually marriage is between not you two, it's you two in the state. That's a whole nother side thing that has a lot of implications to it. And it's just important to ask these questions of what's behind this want, and what's behind that, and what's behind that, and if you're then satisfied, and kapai, whatever, each to their own. I just tire of this constant thing of people sharing when they've when they've reached a certain status and got a certain thing, and like and for our kids to look up to that as the thing, and that's the thing that shows that you have done well. And I find it a lot of in Te Ao Pākehā, or in like the white world. Is I was talking to my beautiful Poppy Dave on Saturday. He's Aussie. He raised my husband, as well as my husband's parents, and he was talking to me about like snacking back in his day, and his good friends, they had a big paddle on the wall, and their kids got it, like, and it had something like the Board of Education is what it was called, and the kids in their house got it like regularly if they needed to. And he was talking about how they're raised to now be millionaires or whatever the case was, and they're head of this thing and head of that thing. And I'm just like, and I always like I try, but I always have this little reaction of just like, how are those things like the makings of who you are as a person? Like, yes, it does show commitment, that you can go through processes, but I'm like, but commitment to what? And what did you have? Like, did you have the same barriers as others to get to that place where you could even do that? Or like, what are the, those are the things that matters. And I just said to him, like, I don't know those people, but I know that you, who might own very little, is to me, because of you sit here and you take time and we sit together, and I know the sort of person you are, and I know that someone's needing help on the side of the road, that you'll stop. Like, those are the things. And it's just value systems, and sometimes it's good to just take stock of like, what are our actual things.
Yeah, so many things are like popping off as you're sharing. But yeah, I think I can't remember any. Damn it. The only thing I'm thinking of is, do you need to go for another shit? It's the only thing I was thinking of is like I think I
Did I
ate some
get it all? Did I get it all?
Yeah, did I get it all? But I was like
In a
cooking
big
fish.
carb day?
No, it was a half-cooked fish dinner. Whoopsie.
Ooh.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
shit, okay. Yeah. But let me share my sin and my win, just to be like, you shared, I share.
Yeah, please.
Because I can quite easily like not. But yeah, this week did not feel, maybe last week didn't feel winning. And yeah, it's been quite heavy. And then probably my sin was that, I'm still in this whole like, so I took some days out, just completely like I'm taking days off. But it's like, fuck. I teach the stuff, I preach the stuff, but still there's this little piece of me that's like, should I take a sick day? It's like hovering over the phone. It was like, analyzing whether or not I should take that time for my health. It's like fucking ridiculous. So yeah, and like actually struggling to take that time out, out and off. And then yeah, that felt like a sin, like just taking that time out. Then on the second day I was like, no, fuck this shit, just like actually go to sleep. And yeah, that's my sin, is that I'm a busy bitch. And, yeah, but I think more so the sin was that I was scared that I didn't know how to explain like the actual, just like at a drop of a hat, just crying like uncontrollably. I'm like, bro, is this what depression looks like? Because bro, this could be me, you know? And it was like feeling wrong for that, feeling wrong for that in the moment. It's like, come on, bro, sort your shit out. No, this ain't you. It's like, but it is you. Like, it is you in this moment. This is all of you. Like, this is you. You are a mess. And yeah, that was my sin. And just really allowing myself to be like, that could be me. Like, that could be what that is. Definitely feels like it. Definitely, yeah, has those undertones to it. And just letting myself like sit in it. I don't know how long it's gonna be in there, you know. I didn't even know if I was ever gonna come out. I'm like, could this get worse? Could I lose like everything? Could I lose my mind? Yeah. And so I just like surrendered to that in my days off. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Because see, the first day off, I try to just be like, okay, Maramataka says it's a self-care day. I'm gonna get my nails done. I'm gonna like, do this, do that, do a bit of shopping, whatever, come home, have a cheese board, relax, And actually life was like, no bitch, like sleep, feel guilty for sleeping, then have a little cry some more and meet that part of you that's like, what's going on here? Like weak.
Mm.
Damn it. So that's exactly what I did yesterday. And then I don't know what happened, but I was like, I want to do some photo shoots. Like I woke up at like 2:00 in the afternoon. I was like, and then I just did some photo shoots with myself. And then, yeah, I had been called to wrap up some spaces, so I've been having those corridor. And yeah, just a really I'm taking up the mic here, but it was a really beautiful lesson around just coming from aroha as this next step in my journey. Like a part of being here on YouTube is to just give, like speak. Often when people are putting out content, there's a purpose for it so that you can, like buy the program, do the thing. This is not that for me. These corridor are not that for me. I don't really know what people will get from this particularly, and everyone will get something different, but this is all about just giving, you know, being of aroha. And yeah, I had this conversation where it's like, basically I have spent the last probably 3 years really staunchly in my expression and blooming my full expression. And I think the lesson I got from this last couple of months was that it's now time, like if you want to take up space and lead women to take up space, you have to kind of like be that leader, like really step into that leader. And one thing was that sometimes when I'm in my full expression, you know, that's a different version of me than the leader sort of thing. And there are wahine, I could see like their hands being like held out to like come, like they're like, okay, guide me, hold me, whatever. And then like on a Tuesday, I might like grab your hand, and on a Friday, I might be like, so it was really for me about why do I do that? What, you know, where's that been coming from? And how can I even more so get my shit together? That's the plainest way I can put it. For these wahine, like how can I even be in deeper service? And it all came down to like, well, sometimes I do just plainly hate on the woman that I say I'm here to serve. Plainly, because I'm fucking coming from a place of my own shit. And then I'll use my judgment and look at what I'm seeing out in the world, and then I'll comment on that. And it is honestly coming from a place of up to some of our women. And that's just my shadow shit because I'm so exhausted and run down. So what I learned was, bro, you got to get your shit together in terms of like, you got to like express in the appropriate safe places for you, which is not fucking social media, okay? Don't work your shadows out on social media because that ain't healthy. And also, it's just really making things complex between me and the wahine that I say I'm here to help. And at the end of the day, how I'm treating and how I'm showing up, you know, if I even have a little bit of disdain for wahine that I say I want to help, it's like, that's only coming from my own disdain of myself. So yeah, that whole really low point, that whole thing there was just like, yeah, I just need to come. Getting my shit together means like actually loving myself first before I open my mouth. You know, really making sure that the relationship with me is like 100, rather than trying to work it out there and get some love from out there. Like really work, really hold and love myself first before I open my mouth and offer myself or whatever it is. So that was my lesson. This is a win, sin, and yeah, all of it. That was no answer, but yeah, I trust it was all good.
Is that what your like, does your wairoa say that's the right thing to do? Because I know there are people who are like, I'm all out there and all the ways on social media. I work it out with my people sort of thing. So they'll have all the parts of them showing. Oh my God, like when Sade did, you know, Memoirs of a Māori did that video today on Facebook about people who film themselves crying, and I just lost it. That was just too much today. But, you know, like some people do actually try and work things out so that people can see them work through things, and it makes them, like, I'm not going to say there's not a genuine intent behind it, even though I guess you would have to like literally set up a camera of you like having the emotions, which is sort of takes away some authenticity about it. But yeah, I see both sides, and I'm just trusting that your answer is coming from your heart of how you should do it for you. And when I saw you put out some grindy posts, bitey posts, I was just like, I'm so fucking glad she's not talking to me, because I know, but you know, like, and so that because I was safe, I'm like, oh, she's not talking to me, so love you, like whatever you want to say, because I know you, and I have the ultimate safety with you. And then yeah, when you said like someone's been like, you know, leaning into you, and then to read that could be quite confronting. Hello, oh, we thought we had them all in bed. Never mind, we're out here for a little bit.
Obviously, yeah, we'll roll with it. For now, sis, yeah, it feels in alignment. like I've always worked myself out on social media. And I guess I'm stepping into this place where, and you're right, you do know me, and you do have that ultimate safety with you because you've seen me. Like you've seen me. So when we journey together, we can't but help but like get butt naked because we're in the same bush, we're like in the same, like, there is no, like, we're in the wilderness together. Like, we got to be resourceful together. So we've seen each other's like stuff. Yeah, in this moment, it feels that I am, like, I'm being called to my next level. And that's not to say that I will not, like, be a full spectrum on social media, because I probably will. But if I be fully honest, I know what the message is, and it is, that, like, I am being called to a deeper level of self-responsibility. I'll still be full spectrum. I'll still be like Mahuika style, like, when I need to be. Like, moving forward, it's not at our wahīne. Because I am her, she is me. Do you get it? Like, I am her, she is me. You are, like, we are the same. We understand each other, Indigenous women. And there are times, if I be brutally honest, where I'll get impatient with the journey of an Indigenous woman. That's one of my shadows. And I'll be like, why don't you just get it? Yeah. So I'll see something and I won't be in full acceptance. And I'll be like, why don't you just get it? Why don't you just do this? Why didn't you read my post and just get it? Why are you investing over there? Why don't you invest in here so you can get it and not be doing this stuff? So it's real, like, impatient, snappy, like that to our wahine, that in me needed to be cleared up in me. It was being like, I had to stop hating on myself because that's translating out at her. But then I'm standing on my righteousness and my justification and my full expression to write these posts. And I knew that wasn't an integrity. And ultimately, what I'm asking of our wahine is, in order to raise, like, a bit, like, in order for us to have, like, a deeper, in order for us to, like, create a better world for tomorrow, it begins in here. I'm asking wahine, please trust, and let's go on this, like, journey and, like, look at our gene keys and stuff. And I'm saying, please trust me, but on Friday I might smack you over the head with a jandal. And then Tuesday again, I'm like, please trust me again.
Yeah.
And Friday,
Oh, you know what that sounds like?
What?
Like an abusive relationship.
Yes,
like,
it's a narcissistic relationship.
Bang. How come?
Yeah.
I was saying, and I love you, and I'm not being like, you are this. I'm just like, well, that's, okay, yeah.
You seeing it? Are you seeing it? Yeah. So it was a deep, like, I don't even know where that boat was going. Like, when I was sitting in this, like, ugh. And now I see it. I don't have all the language for it. But I was talking to my mama today. And I was explaining this, forming my language, to those of you that listen. And it was like, ultimate safety is the priority now for this next stretch. I don't need people to see my full expression on social media. Yeah. Because I have full trust in the unseen of me. So I have full trust in my energy now. I have full trust in my energy with less words and less performance, if you like. But what I am prioritizing, well, what I'm being slapped around to make sure I am fucking listening to prioritize, is the safety of our wahine. So that there's not like these fucking hot, cold, full spectrum, like, how do we, because at the end of the day, wahine are looking, let's say, I say, come work with me. So she starts looking. And then, she's getting whiplash. All that matters to her is, can I trust her? And can I trust me to take this journey? That's all she's trying to figure out is, will I fucking live by the end of this? Like, will I actually make it out the other side of life? And this whiplash, because Jade's doing her full expression, that's gotten me to this point, but now there's an evolution, and it's about a solid, grounded, leader. By the way, I didn't want to I didn't want to be a leader, right? Because I was trying to like be my full expression and it's like, all of this. Now it's like, this is all that matters. And then when we get on the waka, then we party, then we get naked and we see it all, Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking today. That's what's kind of
it's understanding it's understanding now that we are kaitiaki, and like that comes with certain, it's not to not be who you are, it's just to understand that the stewardship that you have of people. And I'm in that place where I'm like, I've led enough, I don't want to lead anymore, I just want to follow what feels good and blah blah blah. And yet it's like, well, and I'm not a coach, but there is still places that you occupy amongst your community. It's like, do people feel safe with me? Do they know that I have their back? And I see, and I'm highly biased towards you. So like, I'm the worst person to say, Jade, you need to, because I'm just like, because I have that ultimate safety that you could probably like, there's nothing you could do, and I'd be like, it's all good. But that's because I was being on the waka, I was safe steered. I was like this, the waka was solid all the time, no matter how the outside seas were fearing safe. And because of that, that's why I'm now on the other side going, there's nothing that you can do. But then, that stuff's really important, because I remember maybe 4 years ago when I started a page called Te Hikoi o Te Wahine, and that's what it was about for me. It was like, hey, I'm this, half Māori, half Pākehā, blah, 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 not Māori enough type, blah, blah, blah. I've been on a hikoi of learning my reo. I really love it. I'd really love to connect with other women. This is safe for you to discuss whatever you want to discuss. That was sort of like, it was the same sort of notion about wanting to provide people that safety. And it does come with, with things that need to be mindful of it. And that was born from, I don't want to say my people colonized me or my people like held me back more. It's got certain connotations to it, like Māori, dealing with Māori and trusting Māori has had certain things that I'm not going to say they're not there anymore at all, but has had certain connotations in the past where I'm like carefully, like not sure. And so it's just it's a good main learning, sis. Main learning for you this week.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to quote it on? Because I've got a few threads, but like what you want to quote it on is always fire. So we'll go with you first.
Yeah, one quick one is, my baby, you need to go inside and go to bed. Good daddy. Good girl. Oh, love you. Oh my God, she
loves our chats.
Started, and I'm oh darling. One
just
moment.
Mute sis. Okay, I'll mute you. Okay. Yes, so until the sis comes back. Um, yeah, to wrap that corridor up was, I asked, oh no, here's this. I muted you, sis. So you go unmute. Yeah.
Sorry, my kid just on
Mhm.
something.
I was going to try and fill in some space, but that's all good. We're back. Yes, what was your one thing?
Well, it was just putting her to bed, telling her to go inside. And then she hit herself on something and it was all over. So
sure,
we're
right?
good. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm happy to jam on your thread, sis. Happy to keep.
Well, no, let's go on another thread, because I was saying, and truly my intention was not to be like, well, actually there's that, there's the and. It's like, I didn't want this to be about the work that I do, but I've fucking just spent an awful time, like referencing the work that I do. And that's, and I was like, and that's a good sign. That's what I was thinking about the other day. That's a good sign when you are the mahi. There's supposed to be like the separation. I'm like, no, fuck that. This is me every damn day, all day. Has to be. But basically, where all that came from, sis, was my whole motto is you got to know yourself to show yourself and grow, and so knowing myself, I've gone on this massive journey with Gene Keys, but I'm a 2-4, so I'm still blind to half of the stuff that about me. That's why community, like in the last week or two, it's unbelievable. I know me and you've had chats, but just it's like all the wahine from who are my people have just come in like out of nowhere and been like, yo, do you need this, or do you want to chat? It's just like woof, like this ultimate like holding whilst I broke my ass down, and then here we are. And it it basically happened when I was talking to Helena, who was doing my social media mahi, who was doing way more than my social media mahi. In fact, we were laughing because it's like, that's not really the work that you came to do. She was like, for me, it's when you are this jade that acknowledges, like, it's just like you have this way about you of creating such safety where whatever you say when you're in that space, I'm like, I'm taking that. I'm eating that. I'm taking that. I'm running with that. It's like we'll be talking on some shit I don't want to talk about, but you somehow like acknowledge it, share your experience, and then open up a suggestion, and I want to do that suggestion. I want to come, yeah, it's so beautiful. And I was like, and what's the other side? Because I could hear how she was talking, was like, and I know that there's always an and I'm like, where'd you draw that conclusion that was such a beautiful part of me? And she's like, well, it's the other side that's a little bit more like do this, do that, with kind of no explanation. She had less like fire behind what she was saying, but and she's like, what, we're absolutely here for like the fiery jade. There's just this when you're wanting to help, but you go, it's really direct. I'm like, oh, I know that motherfucker. And I was like, yeah, tell me more. Do you have an example? She's like, so like the last post that you wrote, she's like, I'm standing there holding your hand on social media, and all of a sudden the fire flames go off, and I'm still holding your hand, and I'm like, whoa, she's doing it. And she's like, we absolutely love that about you. But just, maybe you could give us a warning, sis, when you're about to like mahuika up, because like some of us might be like leaning in real close, and I'm like, safety, and that's how that whole thing unraveled. And the whole thing was, I'm out here going, how can I have our wahine trust me more? How do I build connection? And I was like, well, I gotta be that version of me that takes a little bit more work. The part of me that just goes, do this, this, is impatient. Like, and I know it. That's what it is. So yeah, I feel like this is why I said all this. In conclusion from yesterday, I feel like our shadow behaviors, our mind is telling us that they are the quickest path. The quickest path to where we're trying to go. That is what I landed on yesterday after all this bullshit. I was like, yes. If we look at our gene keys, how there's a shadow, there's a gift, and there is a city, our shadows are the thing that our mind is saying that's the quickest route.
To what, do you think?
To the gift. To the gift.
What's your example?
Okay, so my life's work gift is seriousness. The gift is delight, and the highest purpose of that is ecstasy. So the mind's saying, knuckle down, get serious, work hard. That's the quickest way to feel delightful in your life. You want to be delightful, you want to have a joyful life, that's the quickest way. And then we get sucked in.
Fucking work.
Yeah. So then we'll take my evolution shadow. Constriction. Constriction is the shadow. Self-love is the gift. Universal love is the city. Mind tells you, constriction, knuckle down, constrict, focus, precision, plan. That is your quickest way to, self-acceptance, whatever it is. Yeah, self-acceptance, right? If we just realize that that's full of shit, and actually it's in being with, stop putting our shadows to work and actually just sit with them. Like, we're just like, get to work, shadow, get to work, If we can just sit with them instead, then, yeah, we unlock the gift. We unlock the gift that, holy shit, where did I go last night? I was reading my book, my Māori book. And it was talking about that the shadows hide deep in by where our gifts are for protection. So when we're putting our shadows to work, we're not stopping to like actually go down, meet with them, and like hooey with both sides. Yeah, anyway, shit, we went on tangent there. But
No, but as you speak, I literally because I'm imagining my own, and I'm imagining like when you say meet the shadow, I'm like, we're meeting up, we're going to sit down at a table and we're just going to look across at each other. Like my shadow of my purpose is dishonesty, and I'm like, dishonesty rocks up, I'm rocking up, we sit at a table, we just meet and like just chill. Just like we're just going to sit out here, we're going to have a cup of tea or whatever, and then just let it chill. Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, that's really cool.
Think about it like this too, sis. Let's say the shadows have been extorted. Let's take that a shadow of the whatever, it's been extorted, used, kept slave, as in we have been kept slave by the mind, right? The mind is using these shadows behavior, like these shadow behaviors, to like keep us in them so we don't go down. This kind of like activity that I used to do and probably should do more of is that if we can take the extorted, I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but like these shadows that have been held hostage, you know, and used and prostituted by the mind to keep us safe, and then we can bring up from our depths, like the gift, you know, the gift and the real essence of the shadow, bring it into our heart, and like basically bring head and like the wisdom of the body up to the central place, which is our manawa, our heart. And that's just, and it's like the treaty of the heart, where both sides can come and like just have an armistice day almost, and sit at that table in kōrero, you know. And it's like we create that space for this overworking, you know, part of us, and this deeply wise part of us that's, you know, connected to the earth, and come and bring an understanding and have those kōrero together. Yeah.
Always so interesting that I observe, like, Indigenous women always, like, they bring up the goodness, like it's always from the earth. And I guess that's like a paparangi thing, but I'm like, it always comes up. Like I never draw from there. I always come up that way. That's cool. Yeah, I love that whole kōrero, that, because as you're talking, like, things are popping off in my mind as situations of like where I'm a really terrible liar, but dishonesty is my shadow when it comes to my life's purpose. That's the one at the top, ACES. But as I think about kōrero and how I've been trying to get around, but I'm like, intimacy is the gift, and like just be like open, just like really speak from your heart about what's important to you, like let them see into me, intimacy into me, see like what's actually real for me. And I'm like, I've never shared from that part and been shat on. I've never shared from that part of me and lost. But it's just like, how do I not jump on dishonesties back and be like, ride that thing because that seems quicker just to get what I want. Where it's like, it creates, like, when I do that, it creates so much complication, and like, you know, it's just a beautiful way to feel it, think and feel about it. And yeah, even as you're just like visually to see you doing that was very, very powerful.
Wow. There's like, we've got to understand, that the people in our lives also like are on that same line, that like fractal line. This is some deep shit, but like basically like those that are meant for you, like there are people that are meant to come into your life, etc. And even just you talking about your life's work, and the dishonesty piece, you know, as a splenic projector, it is unnatural for us to be dishonest. And that's why there's that bluntness about it. And so I feel like, you know, there's an element of like, that's what you would like learn from being around me. And then in turn, how you're like, it's just so complex. It makes it so more complex to be dishonest. That's something of mine, you know, like this complexity and like winding things up and like making them way more out the gate than they need to be. It's like we're seeing each other through that. Anyway.
That's probably why I like you so much, the honesty.
It's not always easy, but you find that people, when you just talk plainly, you can build that intimacy with people. Like even being nice now, for the sake of being nice and not wanting to hurt someone's feelings, it's so broken for me. I can't do that. Like, just let me be nice to you. Let me say this in a nice way so that I, you know, there's no emotional discomfort. It's like, no,
Mm.
that's not honoring you. That to me, what I'm basically saying, if I do that, is you're a weak piece of shit and you can't take it. I don't think of you like that. I have my moments, but that's what I think of you as weak if I can't tell you plainly what's up.
Mm. And that's why it's beautiful, sis, that we each have our own human design, because the reason I resonate and I get so magnetized to you, where first I'm repelled by you, by your blunt honesty, then I'm magnetized to you because your honesty is so plain to see, and yet, and I need that. I need to see that, and I need to feel safe with that, and I need to, appreciate that. And yet, I will never speak the way that you speak. I have so much respect for it, because that's just like discord is a huge thing for me. Like I need harmony. Like I'm always like the person who is friends with everyone, because I'm like, I know that person's story. There's no way I could ever, like, some people need to be told, but that's the beauty of what, the mahi is, that you learn like who you actually are. And when you're acting in your, I don't like the words your best self, but for lack of better words, and for the sake of time, because it's an hour.
Oh yes.
It's just a cool realization.
Yeah, we're all different. And then me being able to be me, you get to be you, and you being you inspires me to be more of me, and it just keeps going and going. It keeps weaving and weaving, and we just keep weaving it. Yeah, and that's what I love about these connections that I have with the likes of you, is that we have, above all else comes our uniqueness. We respect that. And we have good boundaries. Like, we're gonna wrap up in like 2 minutes. Because we're gonna exercise good boundaries. But it's always honoring our uniqueness. We never expect each other to be like each other. Yeah. And that's powerful, I think. Yeah, where we can be totally unique, and be in our strengths, and it all works, because that's how the world's going. Yeah. I'm gonna hold my lips like this because I got an open throat. But do you have any last things to say, sis?
Honestly, I don't, because it's on that ending note, like, just I am you, you are me, we've got our own design, we're here. Like, it's just, that's perfect to me. So I'll listen. You can unthing your lips if you want to.
So we're gonna because then we're gonna break boundaries. But yeah, we'll do this more often, Asis. How we'll figure out when feels good and amongst our schedule and the festive year, etc., whānau and stuff. But I think these kōrero matter, because if just one wahine watches this and goes, I think about this stuff, I talk about this deep stuff, or I think about this deep stuff, but I don't know who to talk to, then it will just create that ripple effect. And I'll probably just like make snippets of this stuff and put it out there and link it to the full video, just as a karanga, to bring people into watching the full thing. Yeah.
Ka pai. Thank you.
Ka pai. All right, sis, love you, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Ko Maria.